To understand today's Gospel reading and the role of Saint Joseph as a life partner of Mary and foster father of Jesus, we must know the historical background of Jewish people. Abraham was chosen by God. Abraham's son Isaac, Isaac's son Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, and one of them was Judah. From Judah, King David. And Joseph belongs to the house of Judah and a descendant of David. Originally, Joseph's family was from Bethlehem, that is the southern Israel. For whatever reasons, historical reasons, the family migrated to the northern part of Israel, to the province of Galilee and a small town called Nazareth. Now, what was the Jewish custom of marriage in those days? Marriage was decided by the parents. The boy and girl had no much role there. And the parents of the boy and the parents of the girl decided, when their children are very young, that you give your daughter to us or you give your son to us. It's sort of an agreement. And the children grew in their respective houses, and the children didn't know anything about this agreement. When the girl reached the puberty, say maybe around those days, 13, 14, 15 maybe, both the families came together and there were few more witnesses, important people, and takes place what we call now in a Catholic marriage, engagement. Now, officially, they say, you are the husband and you are the wife. But they have a choice. They can say, the boy can say, no, I don't want to marry this girl. And the girl can also say, no, I don't want. But once the betrothal, the engagement take place, everybody knew in the village that these are life partners, husband and wives. But they didn't live together. They lived in their respective houses. They had no physical relationship. And they have to wait, maybe a year. And after a year, the marriage will take place. But once after the engagement, in those days, according to the Jewish custom, you cannot leave your life partner. It has to be an official divorce. Has to be done in front of the elders. Now, Joseph and Mary were only engaged. Marriage didn't take place. They lived in their respective places. And Joseph came to know that Mary is with child. Try to understand the situation of Joseph. Unfortunately, in our pictures and statues, Joseph has been portrayed like an old man, like he could be like a father or grandfather of Mary. Totally false. In Jewish custom, the man married at the age of 23, 24. Maximum 25 by the time they got married. So Joseph was a young man, a strong man, was a carpenter. He worked with his hand. And he had his dreams. He was waiting for his marriage. And he had his own plans for his family. And this happens. But the Bible says Joseph was a just man, righteous man. He could have called all the elders and could have created such a scene. He could have put Mary to shame. He could have done that. But he didn't do that. Quietly, he wanted to leave Mary. People will consider their husband and wife, but he said, okay, let her be her side and I will live my life. And at that moment, in the dream, angel comes and tells him. And once again, today's reading we heard, Joseph woke up from his sleep. He believed what the angel said and he did. This is the greatness of Joseph. First of all, he had an empathetic heart. Empathetic heart means there is a difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy means I see your misery, I say, my goodness. Kokni we say churchure. Maka tache otiche churchure distat. This is sympathy. Empathy means I place myself in your place and try to understand your suffering from within. So he had an empathetic heart. Therefore, he didn't put Mary to shame. Because he knew something has gone wrong. What that could be, he didn't know. But once his doubt was cleared in the dream by the angel, Joseph accepted it. In the entire Bible, Joseph doesn't speak a single word. He must have spoken, no? But there is no recorded, not even one word of Joseph. He is a silent man, a silent worker. He accepted Mary fully as his life partner. And Emperor Augustus sent a decree that all should go to their respective native place to register their name for census. So from Nazareth, he has to go to Bethlehem because he is originally from Bethlehem, taking Mary, who was expecting a child, at least to 4 to 5 days of journey. He must have carried Mary on a donkey and he must have walked all the way from Nazareth to Bethlehem. And when they come, they have no place. Just imagine the tension Joseph went through. No place. And now the birth pang has started. Finally, they got a place where the sheep are kept. There, Mary gives birth to Jesus. And then comes Herod, wants to kill. An angel tells him, take child and the mother and go to Egypt. Unknown territory, unknown place, unknown language, culture, everything. What a distance to travel. Joseph goes. And when Herod dies, the angel once again tells him, now Herod is dead and gone. You can go back to Bethlehem. Joseph goes back to Nazareth. And afterwards, we hear nothing about Joseph in the Bible. But we can imagine the character of Joseph. From this little description we have Joseph in the Bible. He was a just man. He had an empathetic heart. He was a hard-working man. He took care of Mary and Joseph and Jesus. He loved them. He took care of them and died. When did he die? Where did he die? Nothing. Joseph should be a model for us. Whatever we do, We must do like Joseph. Listen to God. Listen to God. Do we listen to God? God speaks to us in various ways. If we listen, our life will change. But we are stubborn. We don't want to listen. We don't want to listen to God. We don't want to listen to our elders. We don't want to listen to our religious leaders. And our life becomes miserable. We have to learn from Joseph to trust God when things are going quite differently from your expectation. There are problems and problems. God will show us the way if you have a faith, as He showed to Joseph. And the third thing we have to learn from Joseph, surrender to God's will. That's what Joseph did. Therefore, everything went on, I don't say smoothly. There were difficulties, there were problems, but Joseph knew that he is following the path of God. So as we celebrate the feast of St. Joseph, let us ask him, as you discovered the will of God and followed the path of God, obtain for us the grace that we too may listen to the voice of God and follow the teaching of Jesus.